Hello, how you doing? My final project will be focused on virtual private network. The main reason that I chose a virtual private network is I'm always interested in how you can connect to internet without concealing your privacy. So pretty much I evaluated different type of third-party softwares that just install a VPN setup in your computer, which, for example, this software will install a setup in your computer and then or an executable file, and then you can directly connect to the internet. Actually, I didn't mean to open the setup, uh, but mostly the main thing that interests me is what's embedded in the Windows Server Manager. I use the Server Manager in order to connect uh, a virtual private network using DNS and DNS and DHCP. I set up everything so everything can work seamlessly with the users that I have uh, in my computer. And to go to the first step that I did was I went to routing and remote access management. All we have to do is you have to install it from Server Manager, which you can find it here. Manage, add roles and features, and you can find you'll find routing and remote access. Start, and you go to administrative tools, and you'll get it there. The first thing that I want to mention is everything is actually could be set up using Windows 2012 Server Routing and Remote Access Management. The first thing that I did is actually this is already set up, so I'm just going to stop or disable the remote access service. Um, in order to set up this, you have to press configure the routing and remote access for the first time, and then based on your need you can choose a remote access dial-up, or if you want to use network address translation, virtual private network, VPN access with NAT, and then if you want to have select any combination of features available in routing and remote access. This is which is a custom configuration that if you want to use different type of configuration or options based on your needs. I chose a remote access dial-up because I used it before and it worked, but I was using two actually desktop and laptop to use it from my house and my work, but I use this one in order to use this virtually. You choose VPN, and then it will ask you how it's gonna show the IP address to the different clients or or different clients, and then you need to choose actually that have internet connection in it. You can assign remote VPN clients to networks that you want to. Okay, I want my clients to use the Hyper-V virtual internet connection because I don't want it to be conflicted with the local area network that's set up here. This actually, if you use a DHCP server to assign addresses, confirm that this is configured properly. If you don't use DHCP server, this server will generate the addresses. What it does is this actually automatically will generate IP addresses to remote clients that you gave username and password or any kind of authentication that you use to access your server. So all I used is from a specific range of addresses. From a specific range of addresses, I added what is it, my IP address 49, 50, and I'm just going to choose 6 addresses. So actually we'll generate address which is 6. Okay. Next Okay. If you are using a Radius server on your network, you can set up this server to forward authentication requests to the Radius server. Okay, actually, I'm using a Radius server, and I'm actually using the as you can see, says have my VPN address because I'm using an authentication system to authenticate my users. So when they access any information directly to my server, they're safe. And actually, this is mostly Microsoft will encourage you to set up um, a Radius client or MS Chat 2, any kind of security feature that you want to put. You can do that, but I'm going to say yes, set up the server to work with Radius server. Next. Okay, it's going to ask us the Radius server name. Just disappear. We have to put the primary Radius server name. I don't have any alternate Radius server. Shared circuits. This is the same thing that I actually set up right here on network policy server. Properties, I use the same shared secret. Advanced, if you want to have, they could just different kind of features that I'm not aware of. Hit OK. Go back to finish. This is the process of setting up routing and remote access server setup. This is, so as you can see, is set up, and there's authentications. Click finish, and you just have to wait. Routing and remote access has created a default connection request policy called Microsoft Routing and Remote Access Service Policy to ensure that this new policy does not conflict with existing network policy server. Okay, all this what talks about is because it created Microsoft Routing and Remote Access Service Policy, all you gotta do is you gotta check and make sure that everything, including your IP address, is not conflicting with the existing network that's in the system. I already did that. So now it's going to set up, start the routing and remote access. So now it's set up the remote access, and I want to set up my IPv4. Actually, I set up a static address for my IPv4 already. This is just for video recording purposes. So I will go back to the security feature that I chose. Properties, advanced settings. So I have to set up the name, the IP address, select an existing shared secret templates, and I have to put this shared secret password policy, and then policies that's going to be that I set up a policy, Microsoft Routing and Remote Access Server policy. This is connected to the remote access server using the VPN dial-up. authentication provider, local computer, override authentication, enabled authentication method, MS chat 2. That's what I choose. Duplicate properties, condition. You can actually edit the condition. When do you want the people that's going to be connected on your virtual private network? You know, you might just want them to be connected on Sunday, or maybe you just want them to connect just to get update on Tuesday, maybe Microsoft Patch Tuesday update. So there is actually a settings that you can play around, and then it will ask you to choose what kind of encrypted authentication method that you wanted to use. I chose MS Chat 2 since it's very secure and safe. Attribute standard. Actually, I have to add something. Accounting authentication. Authenticate custom server. Yes. Okay, this is set up now. Okay, I had to set up a VPN, the VPN addressing on this, actually the remote access dashboard. For some reason, I was having a problem to connect to my VPN. So after setting up all of this, I restarted my system, and then I'm gonna show you. Going back to the video, I set up another username so I can have access to my VPN connection. This is the problem that I have making my VPN connection. It couldn't connect. Certificate chain process but terminated, and the recertificate which is not trusted by trust provider. Actually, I had to download and install this certificate in order to make it work, but I'm having a problem to be directly connected to my server. So that's pretty much what's my project being.